Lions 10.5 against the Bears. Total 48.5. We have that's not nice, man.
I'm saying collectively. I'm not just saying you. I'm saying collectively.
You used to listen to the show and you loved the show. That's like what the show is founded on. It's like Nick Costos nonsense. The listener knows what's coming. God, Femi. Lions 10.5 against the Bears. 48.5. What do you got?
This to me right now is a lean to the Chicago Bears. I have to realize and figure out if I want to bet the Chicago Bears, but it's never Detroit at these numbers. David Montgomery, like sneakily enough, like obviously like running backs don't matter to the point spread that much, and they still do have Jahmyr Gibbs, who's an awesome running back. But like Montgomery is sort of like their physical identity for this run game, and if that shoulder injury keeps him out, it's a short week. If he doesn't play in the game, in addition to Taylor Decker, their offensive tackle, their left tackle, like I think that.
But Montgomery did say he was going to play, though, right? To be fair,
did he say that? Oh, because I missed that. I didn't see whether he said if he was going to play or not. Because I know he didn't come back in the game yesterday against the Colts. But if he's going to play, then it's all good. But if he's in there, then disregard. Then the Lions are all full go.
I'm not saying he's definitely in, just saying like he said he's going to play for whatever that's worth.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think we can take his word. I mean, usually guys, when they say they're going to play, they're going to play. So I don't think he has any reason to lie about it. But like, for me, this would only be the Chicago Bears. I just have to realize, like, do I want to work up the courage to go ahead and place that bet? Because Detroit covers every single week. So I don't know if I want to go ahead and go against this team in a spot to where I'm sure Dan Campbell remembers what happened last year on Thanksgiving when they lost to the Green Bay Packers as a big-time favorite. This team is better. They're more locked in, and they have been, like, just crushing everybody. So right now, this is a pass for me. But, I mean, let's see later on in the week. Maybe I change my mind and go with the Chicago Bears. But I'm going to go ahead and take the coward's way out and go ahead and pass this game because I just can't do it anymore with these Detroit Lions.
Remember Lions teaser legs last year on Thanksgiving? That was fun. That was like the beginning of like Green Bay's like rise to a playoff berth, to the divisional rounds of the playoffs. It was frustrating. You knew early, I want to say on the first play of the game, Jordan Love hit Christian Watson on a long pass, and it's just, I guess this is going to be one of those games. And and it was. It turned out to be.
Remember the fake punt Dan Campbell ran?
Yeah, it was just, I try to forget.
Dude, they were pressing that game.
They were pressing, and they lost. My lean here is also towards the Bears. I have not bet the game. I do like the over a little bit. So my when I sit down and try and like conceptualize this game, I actually thought Gus Bradley did a nice job defending the Lions offense yesterday in the Colts-Lions game. Basically, the whole game plan for Indy was, we are not going to let you throw it over our heads. And Detroit said, okay, great, we're just going to run the ball and like beat you senseless on the ground. And I wonder, and Eberflus and Bradley, they have like they come from the same tree of defense. They don't run the same scheme. Is Eberflus going to try and do the same thing and just keep everything in front of us and just let Detroit kind of like 1,000 paper cut their way down the field, matriculate the ball down the field? But I do think, given Sam Darnold's success throwing the deep ball yesterday to Jordan Addison, and the deep shots that Jordan Love hit a couple weeks ago to Christian Watson, I do feel like Goff can connect down the field to Amon-Ra and Jamison Williams. And then on the flip side, I think Caleb Williams is playing really good football. I lean towards the over here, so Bears and the over is where I'm at right now. Have not placed any bets on this game. We'll talk more about it coming up tomorrow here on this Magnificent Football Monday. You bet Nick, Femi, the crew, and you. All right. Your team against my team. How about the Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? With the win yesterday on the road in Washington, I wish you had the chutzpah, like I did, to bet the Cowboys. I did not think they were going to win. But
I asked you if you wanted to bet money line, but yeah, you didn't do it.
Yeah, I didn't. I really didn't. What a wild end to that game, and terrible loss by Jaden Daniels, Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury, and the Commanders. But Cowboys win, and we've made it 90 minutes in the show and haven't really talked about the Giants. Strong performance by the Giants yesterday. Just emasculated by Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. On the same day where Xavier McKinney picks off a pass and is caught out for Defensive Player of the Year, Saquon Barkley might be the MVP of the league, and the Giants lose 30-7, and it wasn't even that close to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that creates a point spread here. Cowboys -4 on Thanksgiving over my Giants game in Dallas. Of course, Femi, total 37.5.
You forgot to mention that at least the Giants got Motor Singletary. in the free agency. Who's worse than Tyrone Tracy? Who I do like Tyrone Tracy a lot, even though he fumbles sometimes.
But in all seriousness, and just like in fantasy wise here, and like for props, we're not going to know what to do here with the Giants running back situation, because Tracy fumbles on the goal line again. He gets pulled. Singletary scores the 1-yard touchdown. Tracy comes in at the very end on the final drive in garbage time and catches a couple of passes. Short week now. I wouldn't be shocked if Devin Singletary gets all the carries on Thursday and you don't even see Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate, because I think he's really talented, but it just can't hold on to the ball.
Gotta hold on to the ball.
Rock, man. Yeah, the ball is the franchise, and you keep putting it on the ground. I struggle getting there with Dallas at these prices, because usually, I know there's like trends out there. I usually don't bet based on trends, but typically you don't want to be betting a team that was like getting double digits or north of a touchdown. In this case, it was double digits against the Commanders. Like, they win outright, then the next week now you're laying more than a field goal with them. Like, that's typically, like, it feels like you're just paying a tax based on what you saw in the last week, and especially based on how the New York Giants played. Now, clearly, I'm assuming that this is a big downgrade to the Giants number, and it's not like some big upgrade for the Cowboys, because the Cowboys, they won a one-off game, divisional game. The Giants just got embarrassed, like Nick mentioned.
I think this is a respectful line to the Giants. I think this is respectful.
You think this is respectful?
What the Giants did. I think it's
this is supposed to be under
like
a touchdown before the game.
The entire team said that they're soft and implied that they quit yesterday. And the Cowboys went on the road and beat the Commanders. And Tommy DeVito's apparently starting the game, but he's not 100%. I don't know how this is going to go.
Probably not well, which maybe the under is the bet then. Because I could see the Cowboys did score in the game on Sunday. Like, they were able to move the ball. Cooper Rush was much better than I anticipated going into the game. But I don't see Dallas all of a sudden becoming this offense that's going to be clicking on all cylinders. They still have issues on the O-line. And if you have issues on the O-line, especially in the interior, do the New York Giants have a good defensive interior lineman? Do they have a good one? Oh, by the way, yeah, he's the best one in the league. Dexter Lawrence, who I think could actually single-handedly wreck the Cowboys offense. For me, this is an under. I'm not going to lay 4, not with Cooper Rush and the backup quarterback. I never want to lay 4. Yeah, if you want to bet him plus 10, great. But laying 4, I can't do it. So it's under or pass for me in this game. I can't get there laying 4 with Cooper Rush.
Honestly, Cowboys are pass for me in this game. Have not bet it, so we can move on for now. We'll get back to it coming up tomorrow. I think the number's a little short for the Dallas Cowboys. Packers and the Dolphins to close things out. I don't know. Maybe. Not to 6. I think we're in the dead zone. I think we're let's say 4 to 5.5 is where this game will close, depending injuries and stuff. And I'm curious if DeVito can't play and Locke plays. Honestly, you probably upgrade the Giants a little bit if that's the case. Packers and the Dolphins on Thanksgiving night. Potential snow in the forecast, which would be awesome, obviously. Maybe not for Miami. Although the Dolphins are already saying, like Mike McDaniel and Tua, that they're going to relish this opportunity to prove that A, they can beat good teams, and D, that they can win in the cold. And that was an homage to Buzz from Home Alone. Green Bay, in between, a 3 and 3.5 point home favorite. The total has been bet up now, right? Are we sitting at 48 now with Green Bay and Miami?
I believe 47 and 47.5 is where I see.
It's actually been bet down a little bit. This was 48, and now it's sitting at 47.
There you go. That's probably due to the weather. You hear snow and cold weather. People rush to bet the under, even though it's wind is what actually impacts the total from a lower scoring standpoint. But this is Green Bay for me. I laid 3. There's still a couple 3s out there. There's a 3.5 minus 110 that I see right now if you like the Miami Dolphins. But BetMGM has 3 minus 120. Even at that price, I would still lay the 3 with the Green Bay Packers. Miami has been much better over the past 3 to 4 weeks now, but they haven't played an offensive line like the Green Bay Packers. And Jordan Love, I think in this game, if they protect him, should be able to make explosive plays down the field. And I think the Packers defense, while a little bit shaky, is starting to come on a little bit. They're opportunistic. And now, the Packers defense, I'm not as worried about them with this being a cold weather game for Tua. He can say whatever he wants to say. And I saw the press conference yesterday where he's hey, we're here to end the narrative. And we want to go and play in cold weather. Great. Well, now it's 25 degrees. Are you good? You don't have a strong arm to begin with. Can you really throw the ball in the cold? I don't see this being a really good game for this Miami offense. I'm going to lean into that cold weather narrative. I like Green Bay Thursday night. I think they win and cover this game. They win by about a touchdown.
Yeah, so we're sitting, just so people know, and maybe we'll talk to Brad Evans about this at some point. Snow showers in the forecast. We're going to be below freezing on Thursday night for this game. When you put it like that, maybe Packers 3 does sound like a pretty attractive bet, because it looks like this is going up to 3.5. We know if Romeo Dobbs is going to play in the game. Yeah, okay. I may bet Green Bay during the break here. I thought Femi made some really good points. I think it's interesting that the total got bet down a little bit. I guess like Femi's point about the weather does make sense. If I think about a game between these two teams, I see it like in my head, like let's say 27-20, something like that. I think it goes over, but we need a little more clarity on the weather. And for Black Friday, we have a little clarity, Femi, on something we talked about, which is the Raiders quarterback situation. Because moments ago, like in segments, got a notification on the old phone here. Aiden O'Connell designated to return from injured reserve by the Raiders. So his 21-day activation window has opened. Vic DeFore, who covers the Raiders for The Athletic, tweeted late last night it's his expectation that AOC will be activated and start on Friday. Remember, Gardner Minshew broke his collarbone at the end of yesterday's loss to the Broncos, so Desmond Ridder would start if not AOC. I think it's going to be Aiden O'Connell, hashtag the squad. Chiefs a 13-point home favorite against the Raiders on Friday. Chiefs barely beat the Panthers yesterday in Carolina, total 42.5.
Yeah, and Antonio Pierce talked about that. They'd have to rely on the doctors and medical staff, but it seems like all signs are pointing towards Aiden O'Connell being the quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. If it's going to be O'Connell and these are going to be the prices, I do have a little bit of interest in the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, this is a pretty big number. And Antonio Pierce, like, say what you will about him as a head coach and what he does in terms of wins and losses, in terms of covering, despite what happened yesterday, like, they do cover these kinds of numbers. So I would look toward the Raiders. If it's going to be, it has to be O'Connell. It cannot be Ridder. If it's O'Connell,
by the way,
plus
Adam
13,
Schefter tweeting, Femi, on my phone it literally says now, not like a minute ago, now. Aiden O'Connell returned to practice today for the Raiders. He's going to start.
And it's it. Then it's the Raiders plus 13 for me.
It is.
Like, that's something that will be done during the break. It's the Raiders plus 13.
You know what? And you know what it is, honestly? You know what the day after Thanksgiving is called? Think about it.
Like,
we're going to change the name after this week. You know what we're going to call it? Silver and Black Friday. Because the Raiders are going to cover 13. If Aiden O'Connell's better than Ridder, Aiden O'Connell's better than Gardner Minshew. I don't know if that's true. He's less likely to turn the ball over than Gardner Minshew. How about that?
They're the same.
How about this? Minshew, higher ceiling but lower floor. Fair or unfair?
Probably fair.
Like Minshew more likely to lead and out. I guess O'Connell, like they beat the Chiefs outright
they beat them
last year. Of course, like the defense did all the work, but still. 13 with Aiden O'Connell. Pride and poise, commitment to excellence, just cover baby. Silver and Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving in the year of our Lord, 2024.